Here's what's really going on inside your body. Every time light hits your retina, it creates energy reactions inside specialized cells called photoreceptors. That process allows you to see, but it also produces oxidative byproducts, similar to how a car engine produces exhaust. Now imagine your retina like a high-performance engine running from the moment you wake up until you close your eyes. Screens, sunlight, LED lighting, all of it increases metabolic demand. Over time, this generates free radicals that can damage delicate retinal membranes. So when does your body repair that damage? At night. Sleep is not passive. During deep sleep, cortisol drops, growth hormone rises, and your nervous system shifts into parasympathetic mode, the repair state. Blood flow redistributes, cellular cleanup increases, antioxidant systems replenish. But here's the key: repair requires raw materials. Your retina depends heavily on antioxidants like vitamin C, polyphenols, and carotenoids to neutralize oxidative stress. If those nutrients aren't available in circulation during the overnight repair window, the damage accumulates. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your eyes like a roof exposed to daily weather. Every day, sunlight and environmental stress create small cracks. Nighttime is when the repair crew comes in. But if you don't deliver the building materials, the cracks stay. And this is where the right fruit before bed becomes strategic, not random. The goal is not to flood your body with sugar at night. That would spike insulin and interfere with growth hormone release. The goal is to provide targeted antioxidants in a metabolically controlled way. Research consistently shows that oxidative stress plays a central role in age-related macular degeneration and retinal aging. What protects against that? A diet rich in specific plant compounds that accumulate in retinal tissue. Timing matters because antioxidant levels in the bloodstream rise after eating and circulate for several hours, including during early sleep cycles when repair is highest. So instead of fearing fruit at night, we need to ask a smarter question. Which fruit supports antioxidant delivery without destabilizing blood sugar? That's the real conversation. If this is helpful so far, consider subscribing. I post content like this regularly, breaking down physiology so you can make decisions based on science, not trends. Now let's go deeper into the metabolic side, because blood sugar control at night may be even more important than antioxidants themselves. Now let's talk about blood sugar, because this is where most people unknowingly sabotage their eye health at night. Here's what's really going on inside your body. When you eat a high-sugar snack before bed, especially refined carbs or very sweet fruit, your blood glucose rises. In response, insulin rises. That insulin spike does two important things. First, it suppresses growth hormone release. Growth hormone is one of your primary overnight repair hormones. It supports tissue regeneration, including retinal tissue. Second, elevated glucose increases something called glycation, the binding of sugar to proteins. In the eye, this process damages tiny blood vessels and delicate retinal cells over time. It's one of the reasons uncontrolled diabetes is strongly linked to retinal degeneration. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your bloodstream as a river. When glucose levels are stable, the water flows smoothly. When glucose spikes, it's like dumping sticky syrup into the river. That syrup sticks to everything: vessel walls, proteins, tissues. The retina is full of extremely fine blood vessels. It's one of the most vascularized tissues in your body. That makes it highly sensitive to glucose swings. This is why the question isn't just, is fruit healthy? The real question is, does this fruit create a stable metabolic environment during sleep? What the research shows is that lower glycemic fruits, especially those high in fiber and polyphenols, blunt glucose spikes and improve insulin sensitivity. Polyphenols can even improve endothelial function, meaning they help the lining of blood vessels relax and deliver nutrients better. So the strategy becomes clear. If you're going to eat fruit before bed, choose one that has a low to moderate glycemic load, contains fiber to slow absorption, provides antioxidants that directly support retinal tissue, does not disrupt sleep architecture. And here's a practical protocol. Eat it 60-90 minutes before bed. Keep the portion controlled, about 1/2 to 1 cup. Pair it with a small amount of protein or healthy fat if you're insulin resistant. Avoid combining it with refined carbs. This stabilizes glucose while still delivering beneficial compounds. Because remember, stable blood sugar overnight reduces inflammatory stress on the retina. Now that you understand the metabolic foundation, we can talk about something even more powerful: melatonin. And this is where the right fruit becomes surprisingly strategic for both sleep and eye protection. Now let's talk about melatonin, because most people think of it only as a sleep hormone, But here's what's really going on inside your body. Melatonin is also one of the most powerful antioxidants in the retina. Your eyes actually produce their own melatonin locally. It helps regulate circadian rhythm within retinal cells and protects photoreceptors from oxidative stress. In fact, melatonin scavenges free radicals directly and supports mitochondrial function, which is critical because retinal cells are packed with mitochondria. So when melatonin production is low, due to late night screens, stress, irregular sleep, or aging, retinal repair suffers. Now, here's where nutrition becomes strategic. Certain fruits naturally contain melatonin and compounds that support its production. One fruit stands out in the research: tart cherries. Tart cherries, particularly Montmorency varieties, are one of the few natural food sources shown to contain measurable amounts of melatonin. Clinical studies have demonstrated that tart cherry consumption can increase circulating melatonin levels and improve sleep quality and duration. But here's why that matters for your eyes. Better sleep means longer deep sleep cycles. Longer deep sleep means greater growth hormone release and more efficient tissue repair. And higher melatonin levels mean stronger antioxidant defense in retinal cells. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of melatonin as both the night signal and the night security guard. It tells your body when to repair, and it protects tissues while they're repairing. So if you choose a fruit that naturally supports melatonin, you're aligning with your circadian biology. But, and this is critical, tart cherries are still fruit. They contain natural sugars, so portion and timing matter. Here's a practical protocol. Choose unsweetened tart cherries or 100% tart cherry concentrate diluted in water. Consume 60-90 minutes before bed. Keep portions moderate, about 1-2 cup of whole cherries or 1 tablespoon concentrate diluted. Avoid sweetened juices. This gives you the melatonin benefit without overwhelming your glucose system. Now let's talk about carotenoids, specifically lutein and zeaxanthin, because this is where eye nutrition becomes very precise. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Your retina contains a specialized region called the macula. The macula is responsible for sharp central vision, reading, driving, recognizing faces. And inside the macula are 2 carotenoids that literally accumulate there: lutein and zeaxanthin. They act like internal sunglasses. They absorb high-energy blue light and neutralize oxidative stress before it damages retinal cells. Unlike many antioxidants that circulate temporarily, lutein and zeaxanthin physically embed themselves in retinal tissue. What the research shows is that higher macular pigment density is associated with reduced risk of age-related macular degeneration and better visual performance. Now here's the interesting part. Most people associate lutein and zeaxanthin with leafy greens, which is correct. But certain fruits also contain supportive carotenoids and synergistic antioxidants that enhance their function. One fruit that deserves attention here is kiwi. Kiwi contains vitamin C, vitamin E, and polyphenols that support carotenoid stability and reduce oxidative stress in retinal blood vessels. Vitamin C is particularly important because the eye has one of the highest concentrations of vitamin C in the body, especially in the aqueous humor and retina. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine lutein and zeaxanthin as tinted windows protecting your retina. Vitamin C and polyphenols are the maintenance crew that prevent scratches and corrosion. Kiwi is relatively low glycemic compared to many tropical fruits, and it contains fiber that slows glucose absorption. It also supports nitric oxide production, improving microvascular circulation, and the retina is extremely dependent on healthy blood flow. Here's a simple bedtime protocol option: 1 whole kiwi 60 minutes before bed. Eat it alone or with a small handful of nuts if you are insulin sensitive. Interestingly, research has also shown that kiwi consumption before bed may improve sleep quality, likely due to its serotonin and antioxidant content. Better sleep again means better retinal repair. If this is helpful, subscribe. I focus on giving you tools you can apply immediately. Now we've covered antioxidants and melatonin, but there's one more piece most people miss entirely: the liver. Because without proper vitamin A metabolism, none of this works optimally. Now let's talk about something most people never connect to their eyesight: your liver. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Vitamin A is essential for vision. Specifically, retinal, a form of vitamin A, is required to form rhodopsin, the light-sensitive pigment that allows you to see in low light. Without adequate vitamin A metabolism, night vision declines first. But here's the key point: vitamin A does not become usable in the eye unless your liver converts and regulates it properly. Beta carotene from foods must be converted into active vitamin A. That conversion happens largely in the liver. If the liver is inflamed, fatty, insulin resistant, or overloaded, that conversion becomes less efficient. And here's where metabolic health intersects with eye health. Insulin resistance, often driven by poor diet and late night glucose spikes, promotes fatty liver. Fatty liver reduces optimal nutrient processing. That can indirectly affect retinal function. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your liver as the nutrient refinery. Raw materials come in, vitamins, carotenoids, antioxidants, and the refinery processes and distributes them. If the refinery is congested, distribution slows. So even if you eat the right fruit, if your metabolic health is impaired, your eyes may not fully benefit. Now, this is where fruit choice and overall strategy matter. Fruits that support liver health tend to be rich in polyphenols, compounds that reduce oxidative stress and improve insulin sensitivity. Tart, cherries, and kiwi both contain these compounds. Polyphenols activate pathways like AMPK, which enhances fat metabolism and reduces liver fat accumulation. Here's a simple liver-supportive bedtime approach. Keep evening carbohydrate load moderate. Stop eating at least 2 to 3 hours before sleep if possible. If choosing fruit, keep it targeted and portion controlled. Support liver health overall with cruciferous vegetables during the day. Prioritize 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Because remember, healthy eyes are downstream of metabolic health. You cannot separate retinal function from insulin sensitivity, liver function, and inflammation. Now let's pull this together. If we compare the fruits we discussed, tart cherries for melatonin and antioxidant power, and kiwi for vitamin C and vascular support, which one is truly the best choice before bed? The answer depends on your metabolic context, and that's exactly what we'll clarify next. Now let's answer the question clearly and precisely. What is the best fruit to eat before bed for healthy eyes? Here's the truth. It depends on your metabolic state, but if we're choosing one fruit that balances retinal protection, sleep support, blood sugar stability, and liver compatibility, kiwi is often the most metabolically forgiving and strategically beneficial option for most people. Let me explain why. Tart cherries are excellent for melatonin. They can enhance sleep and provide powerful polyphenols, but they contain a higher natural sugar load per serving. For someone insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, or struggling with visceral fat, that sugar load at night may not be ideal. Kiwi, on the other hand, provides high vitamin C concentration, fiber for glycemic control, polyphenols for vascular support, lower glycemic impact compared to many fruits, natural serotonin precursors that may improve sleep quality. What the research shows is that kiwi consumption before bed has been associated with improved sleep, onset, duration, and efficiency. Better sleep directly enhances growth hormone release and overnight tissue repair. Here's the practical, simple protocol. If metabolically healthy, 1 whole kiwi, 60 minutes before bed, eat alone or with a small handful of nuts. If insulin resistant, 1-2 kiwi, pair with protein or fat. Eat earlier, 90 minutes before sleep. If very insulin sensitive and primarily focused on sleep optimization, rotate kiwi with a small portion of tart cherries on different nights. Remember, the goal is not sugar before bed. The goal is targeted nutrient delivery during the repair window. Here's what matters most: stable glucose, strong antioxidant availability, high quality sleep, healthy liver function. If this content is helping you think differently about food timing and physiology, subscribe. I post videos designed to give you practical, evidence-based tools. Now let's close this out and anchor the key principles so you can actually apply them starting tonight. Your eyes are not just passive organs that wear out with age. They are metabolically active tissue that depend on nightly repair, antioxidant protection, stable blood sugar, and healthy liver function. Here's what we uncovered. Your retina is under constant oxidative stress during the day. Nighttime is when repair happens. Melatonin is both a sleep hormone and a retinal antioxidant. Blood sugar spikes at night increase inflammatory stress on delicate eye vessels. The liver must efficiently process vitamin A and carotenoids for optimal vision. So the question was never simply, what fruit is good for the eyes? The real question is, what fruit supports retinal repair without disrupting metabolic balance? For most people, 1 whole kiwi about 60 minutes before bed provides a powerful combination of vitamin C, fiber, polyphenols, and sleep-supportive compounds, all with a relatively gentle glycemic impact. For some individuals, rotating in small portions of tart cherries may enhance melatonin support, but portion control and metabolic context are essential. This is root cause thinking. Support the repair window, stabilize glucose, enhance antioxidant delivery, protect the liver. And here's your challenge. Tonight, try just one small change. Choose your fruit intentionally, time it properly. Track your sleep quality and how your eyes feel in the morning. Because health optimization isn't about extremes, it's about precision.